Welcome back to Regular Secular Mama. In today's video, I'm going to give you a quick update on how our school year is going so far, how we're liking the curriculum, what's working, and what we ditched. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss any new content. Also, be sure to stay tuned all the way to the end where I will give you our top picks for our literature read aloud and for my daughter's independent reader. When I'm planning for the year in our homeschool, I make sure to allow for weeks that we can take off here and there as we need them. I try to shoot for about 6 weeks on and 1 week off, but if we're having a rough time or if we have a vacation planned, I'm free to move those weeks around as needed. Now, I did not take my own advice and take a break when we need it. Last week was insanely busy. Both kids have multiple things going on. They're both in soccer. My son is taking tennis lessons, which is only once a week, thank goodness. And then my daughter is in a theater group that meets 45 minutes away up in the city, and it was crazy. Last week they met every single day to rehearse dress rehearsals toward the end of the week to get ready for their performance on Saturday, and it was just so much. And I should have taken a break from school last week, but I didn't. You'd think by now that I would have, learned my lesson, but apparently not. But it is what it is. It's a busy season. Fall is usually kind of a busy time for us anyway. We took this week off because we were just so burned out. We haven't even touched a book or anything. I haven't even looked to see like where we left off last week, and that's fine. We needed a break. You can find a more thorough breakdown of all the curriculum that we decided to use this year in my curriculum choices video. This isn't going to be anything in depth. It's just a quick update, things that are particularly going well and things that we ditched or just didn't work. So for history and literature, we use Build Your Library. Since we started this school year, we were working through some of the end of History Quest Middle Times because it kind of overlaps with the early modern period. We really like that book, so we went ahead and finished up a few of those chapters, and we did start on a few things from Build Your Libraries level 3 and 5, like the beginning of Story of the World, and we started the Indigenous Peoples History of the United States. We're really loving this book. It's going over their heads just a little bit. They're 8 and 10, but that's okay. I take it slow and I stop after each section and try to kind of summarize for them and rephrase things for them. And when I ask them questions, they seem like they're getting it. So I'm excited to continue using that book this year. Another note on using Build Your Library, I made a point to separate out the different subjects. They have it set up to where you have a daily and weekly list of items to get done every day. I know myself though, and I know that I won't stick to a schedule every single day. When we get behind on our history readings, we can still, read our literature, read aloud at that pace and not worry about, being behind on history or vice versa. So I'm really, really glad that I did that. Not to mention, my daughter goes through those independent readers like they're candy. It's crazy, and I have to keep throwing more books at her. I don't have much to say for science except that we love it like we've loved every other Real Science Odyssey level that we've done. The edible labs are always a hit, so there was one where we built atoms out of marshmallows, and I'll try to find a picture to plug in here, but they loved that, and they just remember things that they eat so well. They still talk about one from the astronomy course where we built, I think it was a Mars rover out of like graham crackers and mini Reese's cups and stuff. They still talk about that. It was so fun. One thing I don't think I mentioned in my curriculum choices video was that we had used IEW's poetry memorization in the past, and we just kind of picked and chose what we wanted and moved through it for fun at our own pace. We didn't like rigorously, schedule it out or anything. So we are continuing to use that for memory work. I've kind of had to shift our schedule around over the past few weeks. We wound up doing memory work right after doing our read aloud in the morning because if we didn't, we just didn't get to it. Let's see, a couple other things that are going well are piano with Hoffman Academy. It's very hands-off. I don't have to do anything. They just watch the videos on their own and practice every day, and they've been enjoying that. Math is always good. Math UC is our math, and I see no need to change it now. We've been doing it since the beginning. Let's see, Beast Academy has been good. I wish that we had good internet and we could do the online version because I like it better and they seem to enjoy it more. But after a few weeks, my daughter was just done with the books and said she didn't want to do it anymore. So we're taking a break from that, which works out well because they're kind of at the same level, or they ended at the same level when they were doing it online. So I thought, oh, I'll have her do book 2C, I think it is. And then when she's done with that, my son can do it. That way, they're not both using the same book. It worked out well. So now my son is doing it and he loves it. Like, he begs me to do it every day. The last thing that I want to mention is Michael Clay Thompson's writing and grammar that we started doing this year. This was a brand new thing for us. I always struggle with implementing a good writing program. I felt really good about IEW in the past, but I had mentioned in another video why we switched from IEW. But so far, they've been really enjoying Michael Clay Thompson. My daughter, we kind of moved it really quick because she's already done grammar with IEW and other things. So she's already done with Grammar Island and she's starting in Sentence Island, which is the writing, like, composition component. She seems to like it so far. All the writing activities I've had her do, she's really enjoyed. And I don't give her like a set amount that I want her to write. I simply give her the prompt and just let her go at it. Sometimes she only writes a few sentences or a paragraph, and I'm okay with that. And then sometimes she's inspired, I guess, and does a lot more and writes, front and back 2 pages. And that's kind of what I was hoping that this writing program would do, is bring back some of the creativity and the desire to put words on paper. One thing that we ditched was all about reading for my son, my 8-year-old. He had worked all the way through level 1, and we're about halfway through level 2, but it just became something that he didn't look forward to as much as he used to. Maybe it was the repetition, maybe it was kind of annoying to mess with the letter tiles, but he still really seems to enjoy reading books, just not the program. I thought, before this becomes something that is a struggle or something that he doesn't enjoy, we're just going to set it aside. I'm going to hang on to it for a little bit to see if we want to come back to it, but he's doing really, really well just reading books aloud to me every day. I just have a little bin of readers, books that are easy level 2 or 3. He just picks one from the bin and reads it aloud to me, usually the whole book, but if it's kind of long, I'll stop him and say, let's finish that tomorrow. And he's really enjoying it. There are words he gets stuck on, and I just help him with it. It's very like low key, laid back. So I think we're just gonna stick to doing that for now. And lastly, our art lessons. I was kind of blending the art book that Build Your Library recommends in level 5 with Evan Moore's Teaching Art to Children that, goes through all the elements: line, shape, value. But it's just not happening. I don't know what it is with me and art. I love art. I'm an artist. The kids love art. They're always drawing and creating. We just don't make the time to do like an art lesson. Maybe it's just not going to happen. Okay, that's it for what I have for our update. Mostly it's going really well. The only thing is our schedule is just so busy. So busy. And I am a quiet introvert, like, let's stay at home and read a book all afternoon. That's me. And so when we are out of the house for hours and hours every single day, it's wearing me down. I think it's starting to wear on them. I don't know. In the future, we'll probably stick to like one activity per kid, or at least one, time sucking activity per kid. It's just too much, I think, with soccer meeting multiple times a week and Saturday games, and then also theater meeting multiple times a week and Saturday performances. I should have said no to something, but it is what it is. We made a commitment and we're going to follow through. They're really enjoying everything that they're in, so also, coming up is our winter break, and I'm really excited for that. We take a very long winter break from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's, partly because I just don't want to do school during that time of the year. I just like to get cozy and do maybe some little crafts and spend time with family and friends. I just love that time of the year. And we live in Texas, so, and not just Texas, we live in South Texas, like South Texas. It's hot all year long. This is the time of year where it's actually nice and we can actually spend some time outside. So that's what we're gonna do. And summertime, when it's hot and we're stuck in here in the air conditioning, that's when we're gonna do our school. Well, there's our update for you guys. I hope your homeschool year is going really well. I hope you are not overwhelmed and overscheduled. I hope you're playing lots of games and reading lots of good books. Oh my gosh, my top picks. Okay, hold on, let me go get them. Here they are. I asked my kids what their top pick was for our read alouds this year. Their top pick is Out of Many Waters. And I agree with them. This is my top pick as well. This is a perfect lesson to teach my kids about not judging a book by its cover, whether it's a literal book or, a person. I looked at this and I thought, this is not going to be interesting. I did not think that I was going to like it. I mean, it sounded educational and could be mildly interesting. It didn't sound like my cup of tea. But we loved this book. Like, we were begging to read an extra chapter every day. I say we because I really wanted to also, but we just didn't have time to, read it all day long. Being able to see firsthand, from Isabel's point of view, the way she was treated and the way Jews were treated during the Inquisition was it was just really interesting, and it just brought that maybe little known period of history to life for us. So we just really enjoyed it. Now for our top independent read. My daughter is 10 and she does all the independent readers to go along with Build Your Library and any others I have to throw at her because she reads them way too fast. She chose her top pick and I chose my top pick. They were one and the same. A Wolf Called Wander. I mentioned this in my video where I showed how we plan for our week. It's so good. Roseanne Perry just does an amazing job of putting you in the mind of this wolf who loses his family, loses his pack, has to go on this long, perilous journey across the Pacific Northwest by himself. It's beautiful, and we both loved it so much. Such an adventure. Well, that's all I have for you today. I am glad I jumped in here to make this update. I know I said I would, and I was kind of worried I would lose track of things and not do it. But I think it's important to, follow up our curriculum choices with what's actually working. When we take our winter break, I will film another update and let you know how things are going at that time. And I'm really interested to hear from you guys. When do you take breaks during the school year? If you're in a hot climate, do you do something similar where your summer break is shorter and your winter break is longer? Do you school year round? I'm always interested to see how other people are doing it. Also, how is your homeschool year going? What is working well for you? What is not working well for you? And click that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.